Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Boom Gonzalez.
And we give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Lexi Rodriguez. Watch the game live in our past episodes on demand on the Pilipinas Live app for just 149 pesos a month. Available for download on Google Play or the App Store.
All right, buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. Welcome to the show. A new season of the UAAP comes with a new set of superstars. Whether it be the veterans becoming the go-to guy for their team or budding players that are given the right breaks, as the UAAP is going to see walking highlight reels very soon. Joining us to give us his potential breakout star, somebody who gave us a lot of highlight reels in his UAAP days, is our basketball analyst and good friend, Tyler Tio. Ty, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. I don't know about a lot of highlight reels, but thank you.
Don't undersell yourself so much. Before we get to the list, what were you thinking of when you came up just generally with the list, and how did you come up with the names?
For me, number one was opportunity, because as we know, a player is only as good as the opportunity he's given. So I feel like these guys have more opportunity this year compared to last year.
Okay.
And at the same time, I went with some, let's say, dark horse picks, maybe lesser known players that kind of remind me of myself. I didn't really get that, that shine back then, but I want to give them theirs.
Okay.
Now, I think some of the players that you have that you have shortlisted are quite already established or like superstars. Old players in the UAAP but are already becoming superstars. But I want to ask you, what made you confident to pick them, despite knowing that they are old superstars?
Well, I think it's more of the situation they're in now. I feel like, let's say for example, Kai Balungay. Last year, we had Ange, BJ Andrade, Dave Ildefonso there. So those guys were carrying a lot of the scoring load. And I feel like this year, Kai Balungay is going to be, that bona fide superstar for Ateneo.
There was expectations for him already last year, right? After, if I'm not mistaken, Tyler, the stint in Japan, right? And a lot was being said about him. What specifically are you going to look out for when it comes to him and that jump that he's going to make for this year?
I think it's more of him taking on a leadership role.
Okay.
Because last year, he was a rookie, an old rookie, but I think this year he has to take that next step in terms of being more vocal, leading by example, and that means being more aggressive offensively and defensively as well.
And you think he's going to go also get an individual award? That's what you're, excuse me, predicting?
I think he's going to get a Mythical 5 award.
You think so, huh?
I think so, yeah.
He came on strong towards the end, lalo na. No?
Yeah.
Nakapag-predict na siya ng Mythical 5 si Kai Balungay. But in the context of leadership, I want to talk about his past experiences in being part of the defending champions of season 84. How does this influence his performance all throughout this incoming season 85?
Now winning a championship, it's a big deal.
Having that championship experience is huge. You mentioned it. When you win that championship, it's like you get that monkey off your shoulder. You feel a little bit more confident. Right. You're a little more sure with your actions on the court. So I feel like that'll be a big help for him.
All right. Speaking of hype, he came in with a lot of hype. Cholo Año Nuevo was also one of those guys coming off, injury, and there was a lot of anticipation for him. Is this the year, finally, for him to come into his own?
I feel like it is. You mentioned it. He came off an injury-riddled season. I think he averaged about 6 points, 6 rebounds. Decent numbers, but obviously LJ is the guy in FU. I feel like Cholo can be that second star next to him. And, we played against him. I had the privilege of playing against him in a tune-up game.
How did he look? Tell us.
Boy, that guy has hops, let me tell you that. His athleticism is a game changer, and you can see him, he really plays above the rim. Most locals here, they can dunk, they can tap ring.
Right.
This guy plays above the rim, and I feel like he'll really change the game for FU.
And with Sahonia not being part of the team anymore, how do you think is he going to be able to step up in this new role and become, more significant in the team?
That's a good point. Brian Sahonia's out, so there's extra opportunity, like I mentioned earlier. And that's all you need sometimes. And when we played against him, he was playing, I think, 4 positions. He was bringing up the ball as a point guard. He was playing shooting guard, shooting threes. He was defending the best perimeter player, getting rebounds as a 4. So I feel like, he's a do-it-all kind of guy.
Just to finish off the conversation with him, I think the interpretation also for Cholo in that last season was he was chasing his game back. And that, I think, what affected him. I think this year, you're right, he might be settling down into this FEU team already. UE being the hosts this year, losing, some big players too. Luis Villegas, obviously, Paranada. Who are you looking at for UE?
I got Ray Remoga. I mean, that guy, he had his chance towards the second half of the season last year. And, no one heard of him, but when he played against Ateneo, La Salle, he killed those guys. And those are big schools. So we know that he's a big game type of player. We know he can score. And like you mentioned, the Paranada Bros are out of town. So that opportunity is going to be there for him.
And I think we've got to talk about the University of the Philippines here. Who is your pick in this team?
This is my
my
wild card pick.
Your wild card
Let's
pick.
talk about the first one. Let's see if we can go into another one, but let's talk about your wild card pick.
I'll go with Aldous Torculas because, not many people know of him yet, but I spoke to one of the assistant coaches of UP earlier this morning, and he said that this guy is someone to watch out for. He said that he's going to be part of the rotation for sure. He might start a few games, so don't be surprised if he starts over guys like LeBron Lopez, especially with Carl Tamayo, Galinato, and Lucero out of the picture.
Correct.
That's basically your entire front court rotation, minus Diouf. So he has all the minutes.
We flashed on the screen the numbers from season 85, and the only reason why we're also we flashed that was to probably underscore the jump that he's going to make for season 86. We have time just to discuss one more player, so I'm going to throw in one guy there. We know that the core is intact, except for some of the players that you mentioned, obviously. CJ Cancino, who's going to be back and looks confident, looks healthy. But Harold Alarcon, a lot of people are thinking this guy is going to have also a breakout year. Is that an easy answer? That's why you avoided Harold? But if it is, why? Why should we also look out for him, or should we not?
For me, it was an easy answer because he already won preseason MVP. So, but that doesn't take away the fact that it's preseason.
Right.
So I feel like he will have a big jump, and it's something that's a little bit unexpected as well because back in high school, he was a role player, whereas Torculas was Mythical 5.
Right.
Alarcon, he's more of a superstar role player, not really that guy that's going to get you 30 points, but I feel like he can excel as a superstar role player.
Aldous Torculas.
We're also going to be watching out for JD Kagulangan's new hair.
And his new body. These guys are so big now. JD
I don't know what they're eating.
and
I don't know what
Harold
they're
and
eating.
CJ, they're bulked up and that new hair.
We'd love to talk more, Tyler, but thank you so much for gracing us with your presence tonight.
We'll see you over the weekend.
Yes,
For
we're
sure,
very much
for
excited
sure.
for season 86. But after the break, we'll get the latest on the 19th Asian Games live from Hangzhou, China. So stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to the game. Our Filipino athletes continue to shine at the 19th Asian Games in Hangzhou, China. Here to give us an update on the ground is our correspondent, Bea Escudero. Hi, Bea, what's the latest there?
Hi, you guys. I hope you guys are good. So far, we have a handful of our athletes advancing to different stages in the competition. Struggled to find a way to make it to the next round, but I wanted to highlight something from esports. We are competing in 5 of the 7 events, with the first 3 events being the EA Sports Valor and Street Fighter. But it has been a rough start for the national team as we weren't able to advance to the next few rounds for the first 3 events. But Boom and Lexi, I really want to highlight this great story by our lone athlete for the EA Sports, si Jorel Aristorenas. You guys know that he is actually a professional football player, was joined many of our clubs back home, and his esports career actually happened by accident. His friend told him that he was really good at the game. He joined one competition, and the sporting world really just, the esports world really just made it happen for him. He was scouted in one of those tournaments, and that was that. What do you guys think of that?
That's an awesome story.
But Bea, we've got to ask, of course, the Filipino fans, how would you describe the level of excitement, the atmosphere there in terms of the Asian Games?
So far, I've been covering Taekwondo, I've been covering esports, and the atmosphere has been really great. The community of all the athletes just supporting each other has been really great. For example, in Taekwondo, we've had a few letdowns from today's matches from Joseph Chua, Baby Canabal, and Jubilee Briones that couldn't make it to the next few rounds. But so far, their spirits are high. The coach said that it has been difficult for them, to say the least, but because of the height difference inspirations, and they will still keep fighting. We have 5 more athletes competing tomorrow in Taekwondo.
Right, and we wish them all the luck in the world. Bea, before we lose you, Gilas earlier with the win, what can you tell us about that match against Bahrain?
Yes, so just a few hours ago, Gilas Pilipinas had their first game of the preliminary round. They dominated throughout the whole ball game, leaving no room for Bahrain to take any lead in any of the quarters. At the half, 12 of our Gilas Pilipinas players saw action, and come the last buzzer, Justin Brownlee did lead the team with nearly a double-double performance to take their first win of the tournament. Their next game is scheduled on Thursday at 11 a.m.
All right, we can't wait for that. Good luck to Team Pilipinas, and that includes, of course, our correspondents, which includes Bea Escudero right there. Bea, thanks for your time, and we'll talk to you soon. That was Bea Escudero giving us the latest live from Hangzhou, China.
And on that note, the Asian Games continue to bring honor to athletes and their home countries as they continue to bring home medals. And still leading the pack is China with 70 medals overall, followed by South Korea with 34 and Japan with 31. Now, meanwhile, the Philippines is currently ranked 20 with 2 bronze medals.
All right, after the break, we go inside the game with NBA legend and Basketball Hall of Famer Dominique Wilkins. Stay tuned, you're watching The Game. everybody. Welcome to Inside the Game. My name is Boom. I'm right here at the NBA Community Court with NBA legend, Hall of Famer, top 75 NBA player, and the first ever NBA legend to make it to the NBA Community Court. My honor to meet you, Dominic.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure. I like your shoes, too.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I heard you've done some shopping.
A little bit.
And we'll do some more, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I want to start by saying first that you deserve to be in the top 50 in my book.
I don't get an argument out of me.
Top 75, yeah, but you
Yeah.
deserve.
Yeah.
And 50 is the number that you should have gotten
Yeah.
in Chicago with the dunk. I just want to put that out there.
You know, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I'm just saying it. From
But
my
you're right. You're right. I
Yeah.
agree with you
There
100%.
you go. Okay. So now, in relation to that, you're a Hall of Famer. There's around probably a little over 400 players in that group. Elite, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Top 75 players in that group, obviously. But there are only maybe under 20, maybe 16, 17 who actually have a statue. I don't know if you know that, and I don't know if somebody's ever told you that you've hit the trifecta.
Yeah, I think it's under 14, actually.
14 even. Really?
Yeah.
How does that feel? I mean, that's elite of
Well,
the elite. You had the three categories.
You're right. You know what it does? It immortalizes you, you know. It's like, you know, you're not human, almost. To be recognized that way. The great thing about it, it'll be there when we're long gone, you know, to represent what we stood for, what we represented. And I can tell you, it still puts me in awe. Even to this day, you know, and I never get used to it.
A lot of the things that you did were not human also on the court, and we'll get to that in a bit. But you worked with the kids today. You like working with kids?
Oh yeah, I work with kids all the time. That's one of my passions. So to come out here and hang out with children, it's normal.
Okay.
So it's not anything that I force myself to do, and so I enjoy it.
Those were the kids, by the way, making
Yeah,
noise in the
lot of
background.
noise.
Happy after the camp. You started around the age of 12.
Yes.
Was there any other sport other than basketball? that you-
Actually, the first sport I played was baseball,
was it?
track and field,
Okay.
and that's where I got my endurance from. was
Right,
track.
right.
And I didn't play organized basketball to 10th grade.
Because you were doing a lot of pickups.
Yeah,
Playground basketball, right?
Playground basketball.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And then why was it basketball? What got you hooked to?
Because everybody in the neighborhood played basketball. Because, you know, we grew up on the playground. We didn't have many fields and stuff like so. Basketball was everything in Baltimore, Maryland, where I grew up. And so that's where it started.
Now, there are obviously a lot of legends, a lot of players in the NBA who have their own styles. How did you develop your style? Because in my opinion, there is a certain ferocity to your game that is not common with NBA players.
Well, the thing is I played at one speed all the time, and that was all out, you know. And I developed that in Baltimore, Maryland,
Okay.
growing up on those tough playgrounds.
Right.
You know, you had to be tough to survive. And you had to be tough to even get on the court. So they wouldn't pick you if they didn't think you were tough enough, or you didn't win your first couple of games. You never got back on the court.
Oh, really?
So, it was embedded in me at a very early age, man. And I just knew when I was very young, this is where I was going.
Right.
This was going to be meant to be.
Right. Even with the way you, obviously dunking is a big topic when we talk about you. Even in that department, I don't think there's anybody like you with the ferocity, two-step, the two-foot jump.
You know, I developed the 2-foot jumping more consistently my first couple of years in the NBA, and it happened
In the NBA already?
Actually, it happened by accident. I mean, I jumped off the 2-foot in college, high school, but on a consistent basis in the NBA, because it created more control. Even if I got hit in the air, I was still able to finish the play, even though I got hit. And just more balance for me.
Oh, okay.
When I tell people that, they're like,
do you get more elevation from it
more
too?
elevation, more balance, and people look at me strangely when I say, hey, I felt more comfortable and got more balance in the air, because you know, if I got up in the air before you did, there was nothing you can do, you know. And the reason why I tried to dunk so hard is I wanted to deter defenders from trying to challenge.
Of course.
And so
yeah.
it creates an advantage. That's what it was. It was a tool for intimidation.
Right. And I only ask these questions and that particular questions because when you look at NBA players of the past, right? Talk about Mike. There were other players like him, like David Thompson. You probably go with Julius Irving.
Oh,
then,
yeah.
right? You're your idol too, right? Kobe was like him, and then you have Magic Johnson. Who there are some Penny Hardaway comparisons, and then there's a Larry Bird, Dirk Nowitzki. But there was never anybody compared to you, which I thought was so unique. Does anybody?
You know when people ask me all the time, who would you say is more like you?
Yeah. Who?
I'm like, I don't know.
You can't.
But what I do say is it may be a mixture of a couple guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like who?
They're like LeBron runs the floor.
Okay.
Hell of a runner.
Right.
You know, I was that, and being able to finish at the basket in traffic is not a lot of guys been able to do.
Obviously,
You
yeah.
know,
Right.
and so I would find ways to elude the contact.
Yeah.
You know, and people didn't know how I was doing it. Hell, I didn't even know how I was doing it. You know, it just came to you in the flow of the game.
Right.
And so I look at this stuff after, I'm like, oh, okay, that was different, you know. But a lot of stuff I worked on. I took one play or two plays from a great player, and I practiced at one or two things. I never tried to practice 20 things at one
From
time
one guy,
because you can't perfect it. If you're trying to do 20 things, do one or two things perfected. Next thing you do two more things. The next thing you know, you built the arsenal of
Right.
moves. And that's why I felt like no one could guard me one-on-one.
It's like Bruce Lee, a one kick 10,000 times. They practice it.
You know, and you can put variations to that kick.
Right.
To make it look like he got like 1,000 different moves.
Right.
But it's one move, but with variations.
From a ferocious standpoint, would Russell Westbrook be a good example? That guy,
He attacks that basket.
right? And he has like that look all the time.
Yeah, him, John Morant. They tax with reckless abandon.
Abandon, right.
Watch out for part 2 of our Inside the Game special with Dominique Wilkins. Thank you for joining us. I am Lexi Rodriguez.
Don't forget to catch us weeknights here on One News and on the Pilipinas Live app where you can watch us live and, of course, our past episodes on demand for just 149 pesos a month. Available for download on Google Play or the App Store. I'm Boom Gonzalez. This has been The Game.